What's up, people? Welcome to a brand new podcast by me. I know what you're thinking. Another podcast. That's right. Another podcast by me. This one is called the Black and White Podcast, and it's where we discuss ideas which we thought we knew, but I bring my perspective to. Maybe we discuss ideas that are just readily accepted as the truth, or maybe we propose a new idea, a new perspective that should be black and white, but it's black and white when I bring my perspective to it. So today on the very first episode, I thought to myself, what would be a good topic to start with as these ideas were flushing around in my mind? And the idea that's come to me today for this very, very first episode of the podcast is how should we do this? This all happened on the fly. Let me tell you a bit about that first. The reason why I'm doing it like this, on the fly, there's going to be no edit. It's just recorded wherever I am, whenever the idea comes, is because we let production and production value and quality and all of this stuff become procrastination tools. And I refuse to procrastinate anymore on the great ideas I have. This is the Black and White Podcast. I don't know, there's probably no visuals, no intro, no jingle, no nothing, but the content is going to come to you loud and clear. Right now, if you're watching the video, I'll release this maybe, who knows? I'll release it anywhere I want to. It's episode 1, Black and White Podcast. Today, the first topic, I'm actually in a house that you guys know I'm in property, maybe you know, maybe you don't. I'm getting the property ready, but nevertheless, I paused because I've got this idea. The Black and White Podcast. So, it's black and white, right? So, the thesis we're discussing today, or the hypothesis we're discussing today, my hypothesis to debate is God loves AI. God loves AI. Now, here is my argument. Why does God love AI? Why the world gets its knickers in a twist over AI and what it means for the future of humanity, what it means for the present of humanity, what does it mean to creativity, what does it mean to every industry, what does it mean to life as we know it? Is life as we know it done? Is it over? Are we all doomed to destruction? Is this the end as we know it? I would rather think of it as the beginning of something. And in fact, I go as far as to say that God loves AI. And my theory for this is simple. God loves new things. Let's take a little bit of a history lesson for those of you who may not be familiar with how we all got here, according to the biblical narrative, according to how I see the world, right? The story goes that effectively, a being that is all-knowing, all-seeing, commonly referred to as God, decided that he wanted to do something new, something he had never done before, something creative, something innovative, something different. And as a result, he decided to create a planet from nothing, which was the Earth. And then after that, he started to create things. You can read the story, he created the trees, created the birds, blah, 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 blah. And then on the 6th day, it says that God decided, he had a novel idea. Let's do something even differenter, something even more differenter, something that we've never done before. Let's create man in our own image, humanity in our own image. Yeah, let's not get caught up on man-woman story right now. That's not where we are. And he decides to do something that he's never done before, something completely new, and he creates us. This beautiful specimen, if you're looking online, this beautiful specimen, us, he created us, amazing. And that was something new, that was something novel. And then the story goes on as it plays out and we do different things and, blah, 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 blah. Fast forward, okay, I'm jumping a bit, but just follow me, Fast forward, he then decides, when things were going a bit left and he had to make a plan, and put a plan in place, he said, you know what, I'm going to come down to that planet in the form of a human, something that has never been done before. Like this God coming to Earth in a human form, and he comes to Earth as a baby. Again, a new thing, something novel, something different that had never been done. Then, as he grew older, as Jesus as we know it, and we see the things that Jesus did, we see how he done new things and how he did things in new ways, from turning water into wine, from spitting in someone's eyes so they could see again, from doing all these new and different things, we see, one, how humanity does new things, but also how Jesus did things in a new and creative and different way when he was down here. And I think this is interesting because, let's stick a pin again, this is a broad overview. I could have dragged it out a lot longer and kept you here a lot longer, but these are just some initial ideas that I'm thinking, and maybe we can flesh it out in the comments, see what you think, right? But from this, I deduce and I decide, because I can, that the fact that he loved new things and the fact that he created us to, like, in his image, the fact that we are so creative and we like to do new and innovative things, and we can, and we create things and technology. Look at all the technological devices that we use. And I talk about this when I'm talking about AI and stuff with my friends, and we think about technology, right? Everything is technology. It's just a different form of it. Knife and fork is technology, right? If you didn't use knife and fork, or there was a time when there was no knives and forks, and then we used knife and forks to do things, right? You got a vacuum cleaner, that's technology. Before you had to, I guess, get down on your hands and knees and pick all the dirt up off the floor, or use some other type of instrument, which would have been technology at that time. Then the vacuum cleaner came along, and that was technology. You got a toilet, a flushing toilet. A lot of people say, I've heard it said that is the most important invention of the, I want to say 20th, but it could be 19th century. Check me on that, whenever that was made. And apparently it's one of the most innovative medical advancements, because a toilet and the toilet system helped to prevent a lot of spread of disease and really radically change the world. And that was technology. And then obviously we get to, the more well-known technology like the printing press, where we started to write things down and publish it and be able to publish things. I would even go as far as say language is technology. Guys, if you really want to deep it, language is technology. Like the ability to communicate to each other and communicate sounds and understand sounds, even though it feels like it's more, in our sphere of control, language itself is technology, I would argue. You can argue with me if you want. And then obviously you've got the things that we would readily associate with technology. So you've got, as I said, the printing press, you've got radio, you've got TV. These are, I guess, communication technologies, if you want. And then you've got the internet, which was, many people say the biggest invention of that time. And then you've got, and now bringing us right up to date with, I guess, AI. And this is what I'm saying. I think God is a fan of technology, because technology and advancements are the result of human engineering and human endeavor, which is the result of us being created in the image of a creative God who is ultimately innovative. And so for me, when he looks down at a planet and sees his creation and what they have been able to do and how we have used that creative spark that he's embedded in us to be creative, I think he looks on it with pride and with joy at us pushing further, just like any parent. I'm a parent myself. Maybe you are, maybe you're not listening to this, but if you are, you know that joy you feel when something that you've given to your child, be it a quality or a characteristic or even finance or money or things, anything, and you give it to your child and they take this and they do more with it than what you expected. That is a joy that you find, a profound joy that you find. And yes, if they go and take what you've done and do something that is destructive or that is harmful, you would not want that. But that is also the price you pay for them being innovative and for them being creative. I think AI is no different, right? We have created, the creator is looking down on his creation, creating amazing things and pushing themselves and pushing things forward. And if we use it to destroy ourselves, unfortunately, that would be a choice that we made, as we have also seen in history, right? I pointed out the technologies and the advancements that we've made that has led to a negative impact on humanity, be it, bombs, dynamite, guns, but as the famous late, great philosopher Tupac said, guns don't kill people, right? People kill people. So the reality is how people choose to use technology is ultimately the issue, not the technology itself. So my thesis today is very, very simple. God loves AI, because it is another example of his creation using the creative spark that he has given them to be innovative, creative, and to transform the world. Let me know what you think in the comments below. That was episode 1 of the Black and White podcast, and I'll see you next time. Peace!